Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything is good wherever you are. So, man, I want to talk about a few things. Which I think, you know, I personally think that I have my opinions on this issue. I wanted to get your opinion on this issue. If Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather had fought in 2009, when Manny Pacquiao was wiping everybody out, you know, there wasn't a fighter on the planet that was looking as good as him. There wasn't a fighter on the planet as brutal as him. There wasn't a fighter on the planet that was doing the things that he was doing. If he had fought a so-called guy called Floyd, a guy called Floyd Mayweather, who was a master. He was a master boxer, great boxer, a great fighter. Who wins that fight?
I think Mayweather would have won.
Why?
2009. I just think styles make fights. I think those styles at that point in 2009, when Pacquiao was destroying all of those guys, it's just really styles make fights. And the style that Mayweather presented I don't think Pacquiao had fought that style. Who did he fight? He fought Ricky Hatton,
Cotto, Margarito
De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Right.
Clottey.
Yeah, they're more boxer punchers. Whereas Mayweather was just a pure boxer. He was just literally rely on his boxing skills. And I just personally think that, as I said, styles make fights. Like, even though, yeah, he would have been fresher, but so would have Mayweather been fresher. He would have been lighter on his feet. He would have been, you know, Mayweather Marquez is one of the, you know, defensive fights of the generation, like in terms of like slipping and sliding and, you know, and I think he fought Marquez in 2009. So it's not like Mayweather was coming off a crap win, or, you know, Mayweather literally, Marquez couldn't even land a glove on him. Marquez was a top fighter. I just personally think that style for Manny Pacquiao, look, Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter, but that style of Mayweather was just all wrong for him. At any given time. I just don't think Mayweather's style was just too cute. He's too cute. He would have always been in a situation where he'd make Manny Pacquiao miss. He just head movement's too good. How are you catching him? Yeah, you might be a bit more ferocious, but he would have been also a lot more fresh at that point as well. You've got to take that into consideration. I don't think Mayweather had power in 2000. I think that was, you know, more in the 2002, 2003 where he was knocking people out. Come 2009, 2010, he was really he was boxing his way to wins. But yeah, I think that fight, I just think Mayweather was just all wrong for Manny Pacquiao, unfortunately. Yeah, I just think styles make fights, and some styles are just not good for you. And it's not just this fight, there's loads of fights like that styles make fights, and it's just that style just doesn't suit you.
Do you think Manny Pacquiao is a greater fighter than Floyd Mayweather?
Some people say, you know, because he's what, eight division world champion. But we've also got to look at, yes, he may be an 8 division world champion, but he must have start off very low when he was really young. You know, a lot of people said he was malnourished at that point. So that's why we don't really know. And plus, who did he really fight to win those world titles at those lower weights? Were there any killers? You know, it could have just been, you know, some divisions are harder than others. But either way, I think Manny Pacquiao won a title in all the divisions he entered anyway. So that's an achievement in itself. If you're asking me who's a greater fighter overall because of who's won more titles, and yeah, you have to say Manny Pacquiao. If you're asking who's a better boxer, then you have to say Floyd Mayweather, if you get what I'm saying. Greater fighter overall and who's won more medals and legacy and all of that, yeah, then you've got to say Manny Pacquiao. But in terms of boxing, nah, man, I can't say that he's a better boxer. No, he's not a better boxer. No.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because Mayweather achieved a lot. Mayweather did a lot. So, man, let's bring a Saul.
And it's just like this as well. Like, for example, like the belts. Like, are you saying that, like, for example, like, I don't think Mayweather was ever undisputed.
No.
But let's be honest, he could have become undisputed. Like, if he's beating way better guys than the guys that were champions anyway. So it's irrelevant, man. I just don't think he looked at the most money, the biggest attraction rather than the belts. He didn't really care about the belts. Some people are like that. Some people are just belt driven, like Canelo. He just wants belts, 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 belts. That's just how some people are. He wasn't really like that. I think he already had belts anyways. Must have been unified at least. Must have. Because Pacquiao was a champion at that point when he beat him in 2000. I think he was WBO. So he must have been carrying some form of belts. Like, he was literally the top guy in that division.
So, man, what I wanted to ask, let's talk about Saul Canelo Alvarez. Can he surpass Floyd and Manny? And look, Canelo, you said that Floyd was never undisputed, but Canelo has become undisputed. If he now becomes
but the difference is, you know, with like Pacquiao, he was destroying top fighters. Canelo's not destroying top fighters like how Manny Pacquiao was. Manny Pacquiao destroyed Miguel Cotto. Canelo went 12 rounds with Miguel Cotto. And that was Miguel Cotto in 2016, 2015. So no, I don't think this is just my opinion. When I look at it like that, right? He went 12 rounds with Shane Mosley, man. He should have knocked Shane Mosley out. Canelo, he's a lot bigger. I'm pretty sure Pacquiao knocked out Shane Mosley.
I think he stopped Shane Mosley, I think. I can't remember.
Did Pacquiao stop Shane Mosley?
I don't know, but Mosley was younger when he obviously fought.
But did Pacquiao stop Shane Mosley? Or did they even fight?
Yeah, they did fight. I can't remember. I remember he went, I think he beat him quite handily. He battered him.
Yeah. So what my point is that I just think that, you know, Pacquiao beat all these guys. Stopped De La Hoya, didn't he? Yeah, exactly. So you got to realize that he not brutalized Ricky Hatton. I've not seen that happen to Ricky Hatton. He got brutalized in that fight, right? He was just literally going through the like top fighters in that division like they were nothing. And yes, Canelo's dominant, but I don't see him going through those sort of caliber fighters like that, like how Pacquiao was and how Mayweather was at that point. I just don't see it.
Yeah, but Salman, you've got to look at achievement. An undisputed champion, if he becomes undisputed at 175, remember, like you'd have to say that Beterbiev would be a harder fight than anyone Pacquiao and Mayweather had. That's a monster right there. That's a guy that's not...
Yeah, but would it though, really? In terms of, you got to realize, yeah, someone could be big, but you got to realize...
Hasn't Canelo got a win over Gennady as well? You know, you could argue that Gennady Golovkin is a...
I give him credit for that. I give him credit for that win for sure. Because Gennady Golovkin was a monster. That's Canelo's best win of his career. I don't care who else he's fought, all the other... That's his best win. Gennady Golovkin's better than anyone on Canelo's resume.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, man. He was on a different level. Olympic silver medalist. You know,
monster.
Yeah, monster, man. That guy was a serious fighter, and still is a serious fighter.
So that's Canelo. But do you think what's Floyd Mayweather's best win?
Probably Manny Pacquiao, to be honest.
Is Manny Pacquiao better than Golovkin, the one that Canelo fought? The one that Canelo beat. So
but obviously not. People are not gonna.
Is Floyd beating Manny Pacquiao a better win than Canelo beating Golovkin?
What do you mean?
What's the better win? Because you're saying Canelo's win over Golovkin is his best win. You're saying Floyd's best win is Manny Pacquiao.
Oh yeah, but it's just you can look at it in different ways because Canelo just scraped the win.
Yeah.
Pacquiao won. Sorry, Mayweather won handedly. And the thing is, Mayweather, that wasn't the only fighter Mayweather did that to. Mayweather did that to a lot of good fighters. He won unanimously, quite comfortably, you know, against Canelo. His top, basically, all of Mayweather's supposedly hardest fights.
Was Canelo in his prime, though? Canelo wasn't in his prime when he fought Mayweather.
Yeah, but, they wanted the fight. So, it was a big payday. Mayweather was going to take the opportunity, but I don't think it was. I don't think Canelo's better than Mayweather though. Nowhere around the board. I just don't think he's better than Mayweather. You got to realize Canelo mimics a lot of things Mayweather does. Let's be honest. He learned from looking on YouTube. Like he copies a lot. Even Mayweather said that this kid, one guy said that, oh, Canelo just rendered 3 guys out cold in the gym or something. And then Mayweather just said to the reporter, I'm not those 3 guys. I'm Floyd Mayweather. I can fight, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is that Floyd did not fight a prime Canelo. He didn't fight.
This is obviously my opinion. I think he would have beaten Canelo either way, whether it was prime. You got to realize these fighters like Billy Joe, Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, even like all these other guys he's gonna fight, right? They're not Floyd Mayweather. Like nowhere near. They're not. If they were that good, why didn't they win Olympic gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals? If they were so good boxers, they weren't. They weren't. Like there's a reason why Mayweather and Andre Ward and people like that are where they are in the professional ranks. There's a reason. It's not just, it's not a mistake, in my opinion. It's to do with how they've been, how they are from when they started to where some people are just gifted. Like Andre Ward and Mayweather were just...
You think Andre Ward would have beaten Canelo?
Yes. I've been asked this before as well. I think so. I think Andre Ward was just a better all-around than Canelo. And in prime for prime, yeah, but I know about that. Prime for prime, right? Prime for prime. There's no way. There's no way nah, he doesn't. Trust me, man. Andre Ward's very cute. I just think he would have outboxed him quite comfortably.
I don't know, man. Nah, not for me. I think Canelo Alvarez could have beaten Ward. I think so.
He's gonna win by knockout then, because he's no way he's outboxing Ward. There's no way he's gonna do it, because Canelo's a boxer. My opinion, I think Golovkin would have been a harder fight for Ward than Canelo.
I think Golovkin might have beaten.
Yeah, because Golovkin, why? Because he has that come forward pressure style. He's relentless. So can Ward outbox someone like that? That's different.
Yeah,
in my opinion, that's a 50-50 fight.
I think Golovkin might beat him. Like when I look at it stylistically, because Golovkin's not like Kovalev. Kovalev's a big puncher, but Kovalev likes to box. Kovalev beat Ward the first time, in my opinion. You know, the first fight.
Yeah, probably did.
And Kovalev's different though. Golovkin, he's a pressure fighter. He's a pressure fighter. Canelo, on the other hand, is a boxer. So Canelo's not really, he has become aggressive. I don't know though. That would have been a good fight. That would have been a great fight. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You're saying Canelo would have beaten Ward. I mean, Ward would have beaten Canelo. Nah, man. That's a very good fight. When you think about it, Canelo's explosive. Okay. Put it this way: who did Ward beat on Canelo's level? You said that about Canelo. Who did Ward beat on Canelo's level?
Yeah, but the thing is, obviously, you can only beat what's out there. But look how handedly he beat those guys as well. Like,
no.
He beat Froch easy. He beat Mikkel Kessler.
But are they Canelo? Okay, would Canelo beat those guys? Would Canelo beat Froch?
Yeah, but the thing is, when you say Andre Ward versus Canelo, I base it on the Kovalev fight and what Ward did to Kovalev in his prime in the second fight, and what Canelo did. Canelo was down on the cards.
Yeah, it took him 2 fights. Yeah, he was down, but he knocked him clean out. Ward got beat in the first fight.
Yeah, you can say that, but obviously that was Kovalev what, in 2013? And
you do know that Kovalev in the second fight wasn't at his best.
He may have not been at his best,
and he was still winning the fight against Ward. He was outpointing him.
Maybe he was, but Andre Ward, that punt, that right hand, that literally... look, either way, Kovalev got knocked out against both of the guys, but one guy's it was 7 years prior when he was a lot more active.
7 years prior?
Yeah.
What do you mean 7 years prior?
Because Andre Ward fought Kovalev in 2013.
No, right? He didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He fought him in 2016.
Did he?
2014. Never fought him so you're saying Ward's been retired 7 years?
No, I can't remember the exact date, but...
Nah, man, it was 2017. It was 2 years apart, man. 2 years. What about...
I don't know. I can't remember.
Kovalev and Ward happened after Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather Pacquiao was 2015. So no. Kovalev Ward happened after Canelo Khan, right?
Can't remember.
Yeah, it did. And that was 2016. So there's no way... I reckon that was 2017 that they fought. They had 2 fights. They had one first fight, which was very controversial, which a lot of people thought...
Yeah, but whatever it was, he was coming off a tough fight against Anthony Yard. And Anthony Yard Anthony Yard's not a world-level guy yet.
He is now.
Well, that's obviously your opinion. I think he'll give a good account of himself at world level, but I don't think he'll ever win unless he lands a lucky shot, which I don't think he's better than those guys.
You think Anthony Yarde can beat Joe Smith, Bivol, or Beterbiev?
I don't think so. I think those guys are just a bit too better. Sorry, I think those guys are a bit better than him. I'm not too although he knocked this Yarde.
Arthur.
Nah, man, Arthur's not. He should have knocked him out the first time. That guy was a cupcake. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't say he's a cupcake.
He's a guy that's got a good jab that doesn't do anything else apart from a good jab. But yeah,
he's got a good right hand as well.
It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. But I don't think personally, if someone was to put to me, who do you think wins? You've got to go with Ward, man. You've just got to go with Ward. I personally think Ward, but maybe some people think Canelo. But yeah, I just think Ward.
You think Ward would have beaten Canelo?
I think Ward, yeah. I think Ward for sure.
I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? You think Ward would have beaten Canelo? I think Canelo would have done some serious damage because, like you say, you can't really judge on the guys that Ward fought because Ward didn't fight anyone on Canelo's level.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can only ask the people. The best people to ask about this would be the people that have been in there with Ward and been in there with Canelo. Well,
there's only one, I think, Kovalev.
As in people, not people that have been in there with both, but people that have just been in there generally, because they'd have more of an understanding that, you know, what sort of style it is, and, you know, maybe they'll be able to tell you that I think this guy would win, and it'd probably be more valid because they may have been in there with Canelo or been in there with Ward. But as Carl Froch said, the reason why Andre Ward used to win, he was a very boring fighter, very boring. Like, you didn't want to sit there watch a freaking Andre Ward fight, did you? Because he was just so boring. He would put you to sleep. He's a bit like Mayweather, but Mayweather was a bit more better to the eye. Andre Ward was an ugly fighter. Like, he was very. He would win, but he didn't look good. Like, Mayweather looked like he just looked like he was God-given talent. But Andre Ward used to win in his own sort of way, which didn't really. That put me to sleep even more than the Mayweather stuff.
So you think that Canelo would get beaten by Andre?
I think so. I just think he's too boring, Andre Ward. His fight's too boring, man, and he just make it a boring fight. He'd make Canelo frustrated. He'd make Canelo, and the thing is, it's just that Ward is just although he looks ugly, he does what he needs to do. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for so long, and you know, he's been undefeated since the amateurs or something. He's not even lost since the amateurs, since he's been 14, 13. That sort of guy. Like, even Tim Bradley says that, what, Canelo beating that? The guy that's not beaten, he's like, that puts Canelo, like, up there. But it's not going to happen now. Come on, it wouldn't be a fair fight. Canelo would beat him now because he's not been off. He's a commentator now. Nah, it can't happen now. I wouldn't.
Go on, finish off. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I don't think they should fight now. It was like, I think Andre Ward said a few things and Canelo said that, yeah, we'll come out and we'll fight. But nah, he shouldn't be looking to fight Andre Ward now. It's too late. It's just too late. He's been off 4 or 5 years now. Just stick to the guys, you know, at 175.
Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.